Hey everybody, and welcome to the Gauntlet, where we go everything esports news. I'm your host, Captain Zeus, followed by my lovely co-host, JT and Novaverse. And today, I know it's kind of an off day, but we got our predictions for the Countdown Cup for you. Because no one really wants to talk about how last, weekend's results went. We only care about the tournament. These tournaments are so much fun.
Indeed.
Right, JT?
Yeah.
I was making sure you weren't frozen. This happened before.
I know. It's great. Don't worry about it. Hey, did you know it's storming? Never mind.
It is. I heard it like 10 minutes ago. It's crazy.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, what a coincidence.
What side of the bracket are we going to do? American? Or...
We'll do the Asian region first because that's the shortest
my
one.
page.
Go ahead and change your page,
Yeah.
buddy.
We said American to begin with, but
Yeah.
Nope,
Thanks,
already
career
switched
point.
the page.
That's so cool. This is going to be on the Asian or the APAC region. I don't know why they went from Asian to APAC. Doesn't matter. But first week, you have Guangzhou versus New York, Hangzhou versus Seoul, Chengdu versus London. I think these matchups are a lot better than the previous tournaments that we've had. It's a lot more interesting.
Yeah.
Shanghai was the first seed, so they get a bye week. But Guangzhou versus New York is definitely an interesting matchup. Seoul versus Hangzhou is definitely like a little rematch. Going to be a bit of a brawl there to see who's going to choke the most. And London versus Chengdu, kind of see which one's going to spice it up. I like this week's.
I'd like to toss out a theory, okay? You're going to disagree with me, I think.
This is your
But I want to toss out a
crazy
theory.
theories. Here we go.
Okay, so I think New York runs their side, okay? I know y'all disagree with that already.
100%.
But let me get to the bottom side, okay?
Uh-huh.
I think Spark beats Seoul.
Plausible.
New York beats Hunters.
I'm sorry.
London.
Yes.
Did I say New York?
Okay.
And then London beats Spark, and it's London-New York finals.
That's actually not that crazy. That's a pretty plausible
It's so crazy.
bracket.
What are you talking?
How is that crazy? Seoul is so unpredictable. So I think Spark will beat
Oh,
them.
I agree. That
think
Spark will
London
beat
will
It was a
Seoul.
plausible thing. Let's not
I
get ahead
think
of ourselves.
London is playing well enough to beat Spark, who is a little shaky.
I'm guessing you're saying
London-
New York all the way, by the way.
Well,
Yes, I
we
am.
literally had a game, I believe, last week or this week. I'm not sure.
It's a tournament.
So if it is a
change.
tournament, yeah, things change. Well, they had a history playing against each other multiple times.
Okay, well, if we're
That's-
going by history, then New York will beat Charge. They just 3-0'd them.
But
I mean,
how many times
technically-
have Charge beat New York though?
Yeah, I was gonna say
in
the same
tournaments
thing.
and
Yeah.
in regular season.
Yeah.
There you go.
How far back? Okay, let's go back to the beginning of the season. New York beat
Jesus.
them like 3 times in a row.
So
How
far
far back do you want to
That wasn't the
Let's-
true Guangzhou. That wasn't the true Guangzou.
Jeez. Last time they played, they got 3-0'd convincingly.
That's true. That's true. I mean, it's a 3-0.
It wasn't
That's not
even
hard to
a
beat.
close 3-0. It was like they got wrecked.
I mean, you're entitled to your opinion, but if we're going, you said it. Okay, I'm
I
going
don't
back
think
to what
God
you
likes your
said.
answer. I just heard a lot of thunder.
It's a tournament. So
Things
if we're
change,
going
yes.
off of it's a tournament, the last few tournaments we had, whenever New York went against Charge, Charge beat the living hell out of New York each time.
I think it's going to be a game 5 between New York and Charge, and a game 5 between whoever wins that match against Shanghai. I think London runs the bottom side, though.
I can see. I
That's
can
my
see
prediction.
that.
I
That is a
think London-
plausible.
No, yeah, you're
that's a
entitled to that.
plausible argument.
I think
Some
Seoul
brain
is
cells
too-
involved. It makes sense.
I think Hunters are the weakest team. I don't think anyone would disagree with that. I think
they're technically the second seed going into this.
I want to say
don't
weakest,
care.
but they're
I don't care
they
what the
they always
seed
got trick card like trap cards, trick cards, whatever up their sleeve. They're the Joker basically. They always got
is. I think they
something.
get stomped out by the up and coming London team. I
I
think
think-
Seoul is too hyperbolic, where they either win this entire tournament or they lose first round. Like,
It's
I don't
either
think
one or
they're
the
doing-
other.
I
They're
honestly
going to get 3-0 or 3-0 everyone.
Exactly. I like that argument.
I think in that kind of like Hunters versus London, yeah, it's either Hunters go all out and they beat London like really well, or they get the shit knocked out of them.
Okay,
so it's either
Can we
or.
all agree that if London made it past Hunters,
Okay.
they would make it to the finals? regardless of if they played Seoul or Spark.
Well, I can give you
No,
my thoughts on that
I-
later. But I honestly, real quick,
Yeah.
just want to say, I kind of want to hear how Nova's predictions are for this.
Yeah,
just because I know
Okay.
you're just going to go New York all the way. I want to see if his is London all the way.
Okay. Well,
No, it's not. He argued.
it's not.
Spark.
So Charge is gonna come out against New York. I can see a game 5, but what history has shown, Charge, they just clean floor. Simple. Okay.
If
I
history
think
is shown, then Shanghai.
then Shanghai should just win it all, right? Basically.
Hey, I like that too.
I think Spark comes out against Seoul, and then honestly, like I said, it could be a flip a coin. It just depends on what Chengdu we have, but most likely I will go with London. Then if it's Shanghai versus Charge, I'm gonna have to go Shanghai. Then Spark, London, I think Spark, and then Shanghai versus Spark. I think just Shanghai wins it again. I mean they just win games, man. I mean,
You have no confidence in your other teams. Just wow, dude.
I gave him the finals, so
You
I gave
gave-
him semifinals
I thought,
too.
if anything, you were going to give Guangzhou over Shanghai.
I don't think they have a chance to beat Shanghai.
I mean, I don't either, but I mean, this is.
I think they
I
could
think
give
if
him a
anyone-
run for their money.
I
But-
think they could get close, but I think the only person who could upset Shanghai is New York.
or
and I
Seoul,
don't give them-
because
I don't-
depending on which Seoul shows up.
I meant out of that side of the bracket.
Oh, okay.
And I don't think those are high odds, by the way.
Well, honestly, I think that side of the bracket, it can go any which way because all three of them, in my opinion, are like the top in that
Right.
region. They're the
I
top
agree.
teams in that region. They've all proven that they can go the distance when they're really wanting to win something. I can see Guangzhou winning. I can see New York winning in that matchup. Me personally, I think Shanghai's going to go all the way and win it just because one of their track record, two of just their seasonal and tournament track record. They're the top team in the league straight up. But I think Guangzhou has a chance to being New York and vice versa. And either way, in that matchup, in the one against Shanghai, it'll be a game 5. It'll
I was about
definitely
to
be a
say,
close one.
it doesn't matter to you, though, right? Because you're picking Shanghai.
Yeah,
So
but I
either
can
one
see
wins out
game
of that.
5 going the distance for all those scenarios. Now, on the bottom side of the bracket, I mean, depending on which Seoul we choose, Seoul could show up and just 3-0 Hangzhou. Otherwise, if it's the one we've seen these past couple of weeks, they're going to get 3-0. If anything, 3-1. I see London beating Chengdu pretty easily, in my opinion. London's a really good team. I have a lot of confidence in them. Chengdu has not. I don't know. They're like Seoul. They're a little bit inconsistent there. I can't have too much of that toxicity in my life, to be
Hold
honest.
on. Are you about to suggest my bottom side bracket? Join the pain.
Yes, I am. It's tough, dude. Then there's I want to say Seoul, London for game 5. It's probably gonna be London, but if it's the good Seoul, it'll be Seoul. But I'm gonna say London just for sake of argument. Then London going to the finals against Shanghai, which Shanghai's definitely gonna win that one.
I would love
No.
to see London in the finals.
No, I like London, but even me, a London fan over here, is looking at the facts. I don't even see them coming out of semifinals, and
Whoa.
I'm honestly giving them a flip coin in the quarters. So I don't.
You think Chengdu has more of a chance to make it to
That's
the
insane.
finals than London?
Like, okay, so I know we always bring down Chengdu, but Chengdu, I swear, they have some tricks up their sleeves, man. Like, they can upset top teams. Like, I believe it was week 25, I don't remember, when they won all their games in a, 3-0 fashion. I don't know if you guys remember it. I can look up which week it was.
Yeah,
I
And dude
remember.
won all those games that week. And that's why they're second seed. I mean, like, they...
Yeah, but
I don't know,
know.
man.
I think London's
That's why I
a better
say
team.
flip a coin. I think
think
London's a better team, yeah, but
I don't think Hunters can. It's so late in the season. I don't think they can throw anything at them that they haven't seen at least once or twice before. So
Exactly.
it's not like they're going to be completely surprised by some random strategy or
Yeah.
some random push. It's too late for them to have something like that. And if they did have it, they would save it for the next tournament. I mean, let's just be real.
Yeah, if anything, this tournament doesn't matter. For the
Yeah.
Asian region, they're just going to hold their cards until the end season.
I mean, I'm not downing London. I'm giving them a higher percentage chance of winning against Hunters. But I'm just saying, like, Hunters, they do have tricks, all that stuff. If London, yes, recognizes, like, hey, they're trying to do something, then, yeah, they can beat it up. So, no problem.
And then they get to play the like two shakiest teams, in my opinion, on the Asian side of the bracket, Spark or Soul. So I think they have a shot.
Spark and Soul, really shaky teams right there.
It's the shaky cup. That's what this should be.
They're really good, but they could just not show up and then get slaughtered. We've seen it a bunch.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely. I think the Asian region is going to be a lot of interesting matchups regardless. I can't wait to see how that one goes because typically it's either super exciting or super boring. So we got to see which end of the spectrum it is. Now to move on to the NA side of things, which even though it's NA, there's some European teams in here, but we don't like to talk about that because
They're all in America.
All in America. So for the knockout round, we got Atlanta versus Vancouver, LA Valiant versus Houston, Dallas versus Washington, and Toronto versus LA Gladiators. Gents, tell me your thoughts.
First.
Oh, Nova, you can go first.
Oh, sweet. Thanks, man. So I know Vancouver, we consider them to be the best bottom team, but I still think Atlanta will win against Vancouver. I'm sorry.
No balls.
I'm hoping they recognize from their mistake last time when they called out Toronto and then Toronto punched them in the mouth.
Well, Baby Bay's not here, so.
He's gone.
Oh, yeah, so maybe they won't make stupid comments.
I'm going to tweet him today and tell him to start talking trash.
I want to see that tweet.
Yeah, I think they'll take the knockout round a little bit more seriously because, like, last time they were in the quarterfinals already. Now they have to actually fight to get in. So I think they'll take it a little bit more seriously. Atlanta should win. Houston versus LAV. I mean, we just saw it this week, and LAV did win. It actually went to a game 5.
Really close game.
It was really hectic. I know. And honestly, I would like Houston. Actually, Coach Burst told me before he went on vacation that he expects Houston to win it all.
Okay.
By the way, I'm relaying a message.
Of course. You're not Coach Burst, you know.
Yeah, I'm not Coach Burst. But he expects LAV to lose knockout LAV to lose knockout round. Houston got it. Dallas, he could care less, but you know, it's against Washington.
It's against Washington.
He expects Dallas to win against Washington Justice. And then actually I'm really excited for Toronto versus LAG. I know we just have Florida versus LAG, and that one went the distance as well. It was really hectic.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And we see Florida in the 4th spot. Like, I still don't trust Florida, but I mean, if LAG can go against Florida like that, I think they can handle Toronto. So LAG should be making it out of the knockout round.
Okay. Some good thoughts there. JT, spit some bars, good man.
I'm gonna pick Atlanta. Unfortunately, I would see Vancouver win, but I don't think there's a shot. So.
Okay.
If there's any upset, I hope that's the upset, though.
Let's sit here.
LAG or LAV, sorry. I think they win. Dallas wins. LAG wins.
Okay.
Simple, clean, easy, portable.
I just think there's a big, there's some close matchups, but they're not really that close. Like, the closest thing's like 70-30 in my mind.
Yeah, like when you look at these matchups, they're nothing. The only ones I can see would be an actual back and forth would be the LA Valiant one and the LA Gladiators one. Those two are the only ones I can see going the distance due to one, we like Nova was saying, we just saw Houston play against Valiant and they brought it to a game 5. Like they were fighting for that spot. Then you see Gladiators really fighting against Florida. I was saying earlier to you guys, game 4 in that series went to like a quintuple overtime. They were literally pushing it for a game 5, which is absolutely amazing for an LA team, like for Gladiators in general to be doing that good. Okay. Florida is, I like to say they're a great team. They're top 10 for sure. I know a lot of you guys have iffy feelings about that, But that was a good matchup to see. Even though it ended 3-1, it was a lot closer than what it is. Toronto last tournament upset Atlanta and tried. I mean, they upset in the knockout round too, but that was against, was it up against LA Gladiators?
Yes, I think so, actually.
Yeah, so they upset Glads, they upset Atlanta, and I mean, they get stomped by Philly, but we don't talk about that.
Okay.
I think that'll go the distance regardless, though.
So are you picking Atlanta, LAV, Dallas, and LAG?
So I want Vancouver to beat Atlanta. Just
I
straight
think we
up.
all do, don't we?
I really want them to do it. One, because Atlanta's been kind of, they've been kind of meh these past couple of weeks. Vancouver, Game 5 against Toronto last week, and 3-0'd Boston. It's not saying much, but it gets them out of that bottom spot, so they're like bottom mid. So I want to see them upset Atlanta just because reasons.
Are you picking them to upset them?
I am. I'm genuinely picking them to upset
You're picking
Atlanta.
Vancouver to upset.
I'm picking them to do a reverse 3-0 sweep or something.
Okay.
Something
Who gets
spicy.
Picked? Who does San Francisco pick? They get first pick. If Vancouver makes it, they pick Vancouver.
So I'm going Vancouver. I could see either or for the LA matchup. I'm probably going to go Dallas, unfortunately, just because I don't think Washington has it in them. And I could see I'm going to go Toronto against the LA matchup. I think they can beat them again.
Oh, man, your bracket's so messed up.
It's going to be interesting.
Okay.
San Fran will, if Vancouver wins, San Fran will definitely pick them easily because that's the worst team. If Atlanta wins, then they'll probably choose the winner of the LA Valiant Houston game. If Atlanta wins their matchup.
I agree. And if Toronto wins, they pick Toronto. If none of those teams win, they pick Dallas.
No, I still think they choose the winner of the LA Valiant Houston game because...
You think they will pick LAV over Dallas?
Yeah, because I think Dallas will give them more trouble than Valiant will. I'm a Valiant fan.
That's the biggest
compliment. Dallas
compliment
will give them more trouble than Valiant because Dallas they have the right components there. They have the right stuff. They just sometimes can't clutch it, or they'll bring it the distance. Especially because it's a tournament. It's going to be a lot more hype, so everyone's going to be like on edge. Valiant has not been the greatest.
That's
lately.
the biggest compliment you've ever given Dallas.
I'm not saying this towards Dallas. I'm just saying this as
I'm not saying it towards them.
That's a huge
options. Paris will probably choose
Dallas. I'm saying they pick LAV.
So let's say San Fran chooses the LAV Houston.
I think we've got those switched in my mind.
Whoever wins that one, I mean.
Yes, I agree.
And Paris will probably, if Toronto wins, Paris will choose Toronto, 100%. If otherwise, it'll have to be Dallas because you don't want to go against Atlanta because that's been like your rival this whole season.
Who gets picked last?
Huh?
Out of all the teams in knockout, who is the most dangerous?
I would say Atlanta.
If Atlanta wins, it'll probably be Atlanta.
I was going to say LAG. And
otherwise, it's LAG for sure.
I honestly
Florida's going to have a really tough matchup regardless.
I'd rather take LAG than LAV. I think LAV is more consistent than LAG because we always say that LAG is the guardian of the top 10. And I mean, you lose games. They lose games to what they played Florida, and Florida, yeah.
It was a 3-1. They tried to come back, but it was too late.
So I'd rather take G than V, to be honest. So if I was worried, or last teams to pick, Atlanta or LAV, I would not. Those would be last picks.
You would really choose Valiant as the last pick?
If it came
to it.
Coach Burr said Houston's gonna win, but if they don't and LAV makes it, Atlanta or LAV are probably gonna be the last picks.
I don't. I think it goes Dallas, LAV, LAG, Atlanta in that order.
You think Dallas would be the first choice?
I think San Francisco
if those people win
against them. I don't think
Valiant
Dallas
would be the first choice because
but
Dallas
I don't
is
think
more of a,
Dallas has ever taken them to a game 5.
well, it doesn't matter if they have in the past. If you combine if you match them up.
I'm not going to argue with you. I will change my opinion. LAV Dallas.
There you go. Thank you. I'm just saying logistically.
I think no matter what, Dallas doesn't win another game.
I agree. I
don't think they can upset Paris or Shock.
I agree. I don't think Dallas can get anywhere. I don't think Valiant or Houston can get anywhere.
Possibly.
Holy crap, you're lagging.
I do think if Dallas was able to go to Florida, I think Dallas could beat Florida.
You went full anime style where your voice happened, but then your mouth.
Sorry, it's storming really bad.
Oh god. Okay, we'll wrap this up pretty soon. I think honestly the only ones I could see going past the quarterfinals out of the knockout round would be LAG or not even. I think Atlanta would be the only one I could see possibly going past the knockout round if they match up against Florida. Other than that, I think the quarterfinalists will move to the semifinals.
I can agree with that.
Because Florida is, even though they've been kind of on and off, they're still a great team. Paris, they won the previous tournament and have just been on a roll. I mean, they would have been first seed if they hadn't taken, like, literally slept and had Washington take one map. Philly and San Fran are always in the top 2 spots. They're always up there. They're the top teams in the NA region. And then when you go to the semis, it'll probably be Florida versus San Fran, a good rematch. Philly versus Paris, a great rematch. And then the finals would be the winner of those two, which regardless will be a great matchup.
I think I'm just going to throw this prediction out. Shock versus Fusion. Fusion wins game 5.
Wow.
Finals. I think that's
you predicted that last tournament too.
I think it was really close to happening, by the way.
It was. If Paris had to went into whatever gear,
they went into hyper gear, which I don't think Florida or Paris will be able to sneak by as easily. Because I really do think Shock and Philly thought they were playing each other in the finals, and they were a little bit surprised both times that a team came out of nowhere.
Yeah, because
I don't even like those teams, by the way.
San Fran matched up against Florida in the first tournament, and it almost went to a game 5. It was a good matchup. So San Fran has somewhat of an expectation for Florida. Philly knows exactly what to expect from Paris because they went game 7, the distance, the last of the last against Paris. So Philly definitely knows what to expect from Paris and vice versa. So I think regardless, those matches will go game 5. I don't think it will be anything dominant. I personally will want to see a Florida-Paris matchup in the finals, just because that would be pretty cool. See,
I couldn't live with myself.
I
could see Paris beating Philly. Florida, I would want them to beat San Fran. I don't think they will, but I want them to. Regardless, I see Paris winning the whole thing.
No.
Vive la France.
Gosh, I hate your prediction so much.
I think Paris, Philadelphia in the semifinals, that goes the distance. It's going to be super hectic, but I think Paris is going to pull through. I think it's going to be San Fran versus Atlanta in the semifinals.
That's my dark horse.
Yeah, like Atlanta, right? Trying to
Atlanta's
sneak in.
the dark horse.
I
honestly think they could.
I don't think they're going to get past San Francisco. So I think San Fran, it's going to be San Francisco versus Paris in the finals, and I think San Fran is going to secure the win to show off, hey, we still got this. We're number 1 still.
Wow.
Yeah. I think they're going to put a staple in this tournament.
Okay, so I have a question for you.
Yes.
Okay, so if Atlanta is able to make it past Florida, you think they were in that side of the table?
No.
You don't think so? What if it's a convincing win?
No.
No,
because
what if they threw
tournament hype, if anything.
No.
Dude, I think Atlanta's my dark horse. I could see them winning. I'm not predicting them to win or even go deep. But I think if any team out of the knockout bracket, if any team could do it out of the knockout, it's them.
I agree.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Honestly, though, I mean, Atlanta, they got upset by Toronto. They almost lost. I mean, they could have lost against Dallas this week.
I have zero faith in Dallas. I have zero faith in LAG, LAV. Like, none of those teams I think could win.
They're too inconsistent and shaky.
Correct. I think they could win a match and make it semis. I just don't think there's any way they make
There's no, well, I mean, no one thought Paris was going to go all the way last tournament, so.
Yeah, but at least they were a top 10 team.
That is a true
Those
statement.
teams are not top 10.
I mean,
Atlanta's
technically
the only
Atlanta.
one. I was about to say, Atlanta's the only one that I'm like, all right, off chance they have a good week.
My dark horse here, Toronto, coming back from the freaking knockouts. The revenge. Beating Philly, going all the way to Paris, and then Paris has to put them down. Oh, I'm sorry. He was a good boy. I'm the Itachi to your Sasuke.
Coach Burr said Houston all the way.
I knew Coach Burr.
3-0 all the way, right?
Dark horse, white horse, mixture of horses,
A biracial force.
biracial horse.
All right. Well, I think that's going to wrap it up here. Otherwise, our lagginess will improve. Let us know in the comments your predictions, who you think is going to go where, knockouts, blah, 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 and the most consistent, blah, 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 and the teams, right?
Yeah.
I'm Captain Zeus. That's JT. That's Novaverse, and we will catch you guys later. See ya.